Welcome, everyone. This is day 3, and I've chosen one of my favorite stones for you today. It's a seraphinite, and it holds the power of the energy of the heart and the crown chakra. It's a very beautiful healing stone. I often use that stone actually with urite, and the two of them will work as a polarization of the energies. And just holding these in my hands really grounds my energy, and I want the same for you today. I'm aware that the sounding of the last few days has not reached the Zoom call. So I'm going to try a different one today to call in our meeting and just bring the sound, bring the healing light into the space. Sharon, glad you're here. So welcome to day 3. Today, we're going to be working on more about spiritual manifestation of what it is that we're wishing to call into our lives. It could be a matter of more health, more wealth, more love in relationships, more connection with our spiritual community. It's really whatever it is that you want to bring into your world. And just as a review of the last few days, the first day we were talking about vibration and mindset and raising your vibration to hold a higher frequency, so that as we're choosing to go about our daily experiences and call in the clients that we're wishing for and the business that we're wishing for, or even really just to hold the energy of living in your life force in a more stronger and secure way. One of the things that we really can shift is our ability to make a choice about how we hold the energy. And remember, we were talking about curiosity and openness, as opposed to like drawing in refusal and self-judgment, which ends up being the kind of stories that we end up telling ourselves about how we can't have something. And then that leads us to yesterday when we were talking a lot about limiting beliefs. So when you hold a belief structure that really opens you into your spiritual abundance, you're really not listening to that inner world that says, I can't have it, or I don't know enough yet. It's not for me. Whatever those beliefs are that we seem to think are real are not real, and that thoughts themselves hold a little vibration of form, and that form itself can be dissolved because the thoughts aren't real. What is real? What is real is coming fully to the present and coming fully into your own peaceful embodiment. So let's once again just start the class coming into the body. We can do this. You can do this lying down, actually, if you would like. But I'm going to do this meditation to start to bringing in the energy of the day, sitting, and just take a moment to really feel relaxed and comfortable within your own being. And giving yourself a little bit of time. You can close your eyes if that feels good. Giving yourself some time to settle into the body. And let's bring the heart energy into our meditation practice again. You can even feel your heartbeat. See if you can attend to what the heart, the spiritual heart in the center of your chest is, and even bringing the heartbeat into this meditation today. And allowing yourself to feel the body just relaxing, but let the weight travel down to the sitting bones. Sitting bones are the very, very bottom of the pelvis, the bottom of the first chakra. Let that weight transfer into the chair if you're lying down, the whole back into the floor. And give yourself time to expand and release. Taking a breath. On the exhalation, let the sound come through as we did yesterday, breathing in and breathing out on a sigh or a whispered ah. Breathing in and breathing out. And one more time, breathing in and exhale. Beginning to open your awareness into the space around you. The sounds, allow whatever sounds are in your environment to just be there and be part of this. And noticing how your body is feeling in this moment. If you're feeling a little tired, a little heavy, maybe you're feeling light or restless. Give yourself time to fully experience exactly how you are right now. And then we'll continue to feel into the rhythm of your breathing without trying to change anything. Allow the breath to come in and notice how it expands your ribs. Let the breath go out. So you're sensing that movement of the breath in your being. And as you settle into your own body, allow yourself to bubble up. What is your intention for today in our time together? What would you really love to see? And I invite you to expand into a vision of what it is that you want to bring in over the next 90 days into your life. And see that vision and really expand into that vision. Maybe you can choose just one or two things. And if you were to see them happening as if it was happening right now, it's already happened. I am so happy and grateful that I have achieved such abundance in my finances in these last 90 days. See it happening as if it was already here for you. I am so happy and grateful that I have really brought myself to a pinnacle of energy and health in my life. That my relationships are strong and sturdy. And now allow yourself to hold in that frequency as you bring your energy deeply, deeply inside. Allowing for the heart to open, for the mind to open, and for the heart and the mind to connect. And as we connect, we're seeing this energy moving right up through the top of the head, expanding all around you like this golden shimmering energy of light, showering down around you, bringing the highest frequency of beautiful golden pink energy around you. And allow your breath to engage with that frequency of light. And now, as you gently come out of the meditation, just musing with yourself, when I connect with what it is that I'm really wanting, how does that make me feel? So that we're connecting to the vision and we're seeing how it feels. We're like singularly focused on the vision that we want to draw in. But likewise, we're holding with how it makes me feel. Because this is not an intellectual study. This is about manifesting your dreams and your visions from the future and bringing it back into the present. So welcome everyone. Today is really about manifestation and just kind of moving into the energy of manifestation. We've already talked so much about how we can do the inner work of shifting our energy and actually looking at what is stopping us. And that's a real key to manifestation, because even though you can hold the vision of what it is that you want to bring in, if there's some kind of low, it's actually below the surface, subconscious energy of not allowing that to happen, you won't even realize that it isn't coming to fruition, but you get stopped by it anyway. And that's when we have to do the research and say, what is it? Have I created a clear enough and specific enough vision to really draw that back into me? And it has to do with allowing your abundance to be present. So I'm going to share my screen with you again today as usual. And we'll start. Let's see if I can bring just one little movement. Yeah, there we go. So the first question of today is, what is true abundance for you? What brings in true abundance? And we had some clues in our meditation. It's like, well, abundance is wealth, but what kind of wealth? Is it a wealth of time, health, freedom to create? How do you make it easy to bring that abundance in? Do you have this belief system that it has to be hard and that you have to work hard and you have to, put your nose to the grindstone? Or can you make it easy and full of play and fun? What is it that we can do to bring more of that kind of wealth and joy into our life? So at this point, a lot of us already know about the law of attraction. And the law of attraction is actually one of many universal laws. But it's the law, the universal law that says, whatever I see out there is going to come back to me in some way. So if I only see kind of struggle and difficulty and, this isn't for me. Other people can have this. I can't have this. That's what you're going to draw more of. And it sounds somewhat like magical thinking, but really it is not. It's more about how you allow in what you're wishing for. As we said, the vision has to get very clear and very specific. So the truth is, we're manifesting all the time. We're manifesting all the time. So if you've ever heard of somebody who's been like accident prone, right? And they wake up and they're not feeling well and they bump into it and they stub their toe and they get through the day somehow, but it seems like one calamity after another has taken over. And we've all had days like that. But when you can shift and pause in that moment and not react to the stimulus, and instead give yourself time to just go, whoa, I'm like, my brain is 2 steps ahead of my body. I better get back in there, right? I need to come back home and take that momentary pause. It's like a little gap between the stimulus and the response, so that we're not just kind of feeling like we have to get thrown from pillar to post. In fact, we can really open into and then redecide and recreate. So that is what starts to shift the energy. We talked a lot about the energy of the mindset on the first day, but this is what we're talking about. We can get control of our own energy through first pausing and bringing in that little bit of self-care, that little bit of recognition and awareness of where we are, kind of getting back into presence, coming back into presence. And then from there, maybe being able to make a little bit of a different choice or a new choice. So I'm going to invite you today to actually do a little bit of journaling. So if you need a moment to get a piece of paper and a pen, that would be great. But we've been talking so far today about what we really want to draw into our life. And if you can singularly focus on that, that's fantastic. But one way into that is to actually write your what I will no longer tolerate list. So this is a list of time suckers that drain your energy and things that you generally don't do for yourself, things that you think you should do or that someone has just demanded or asked you to do. This really moves into how we're holding energy and making decisions and priorities in our own experience, in our own lives, and not allowing ourselves to get diluted by other things. There's a huge part of coaching that really is connected into productivity. And there's a real key to productivity in here. It's like a golden nugget. It's like, what am I not willing to do? The buck stops here. I don't want to do that. So, and then there, you can also allow yourself to, I have to stop sharing my screen for a moment to admit someone I didn't know that I had to do that. Excuse me for just 1 minute. There we go. Okay. So interesting. This is a moment of technology, actually. I couldn't share my screen and admit somebody at the same time. Okay. So we're talking about we're talking about what we will no longer tolerate in our lives. And if you can just jot down a few things on your no longer tolerate list, then we can move on to what it is that we're really wanting to bring in. So I'll give you a moment to do that. Welcome, welcome. We're making a short list today, but that list can get longer as you go along. So keep it somewhere that you can see and keep adding to this list over there of what you are no longer willing to tolerate. Okay, do you have a few things written down? Give you another minute. And remember, we're releasing the concept of how it should be done. So even as you're writing your list of what I will no longer tolerate, it's really how the energy can move through you, and you can really part the wave, part the waters. So we're really talking about how we can bring more ease and flow into our lives, into our experience. And we're just finishing with our what I will no longer tolerate list. So the next thing that we'll do is then shift over and ask yourself, what will I tolerate? What do I really want? And this energy, this question has a lot to do with your self-worth. What I really want to draw into my life. As you grow yourself, more opportunities will come to you. And you can ask yourself other questions. This is really inner work. How do I feel in myself? How do I hold the value of who I am and what I care about? So one way you can do that is actually very quickly, without even thinking about it too much, just write down one or two high values that you hold. What is your highest value? Is your highest value freedom, for example? Is it honesty and truth? What is it that you would be able to wake up in the morning and just ride the energy of your entire day because you care about that so much? It's a place where your passion can flow through. So what is it that I really want? What do I love? What do I want to do? And what I'm leading towards is that you are in a relationship with spirit. You are in relationship, as we said yesterday, with your soul guidance. As we put away what the ego mind does because it needs to feel safe and protected, what you would do if there was nobody watching, what you would do if you couldn't make anything wrong, that you could not fail. Because we're taking all of the stories and the limits off of the reasons why I can't. And remember when we did the dance of why I can't because the other day, and we broke the pattern. So that was, we took that in. For those of you who weren't here yesterday, we asked the question of, well, we made a statement. I can't do X because the reason why I can't is, and then we actually looked at that statement and walked the room with it, and then broke the pattern through the physical movement, which is, if you didn't do that exercise, it's a lot of fun to do. And you can see it on the replay when I put the replay up. But what we're asking now is kind of a deeper level of where the subconscious moves us more than we wish for. How we put ourselves down or make excuses or not allow ourselves to receive love, compliments, help even, or even ask for help. And you can ask the same question about your financial state as well. How do I feel about money? Do I repel money? How much is that connected to my self-worth? How much can I allow myself to receive and draw that in? So, like every day, I promise to do a meditation, which we did to start, and a movement process. And so I want you to now, if you feel like you're not so much the dancer that you used to be, that's fine. You can dance in your chair. But I do want you to come out of your chair and move into the room if you can, if you feel so compelled. And I will just say I will just say one more thing. I'm going to stop the share and put some music on and allow the inner dancer to come forward. And so what we're going to be doing is grounding this energy today in a spiritual connection to what it is that we're really wanting to bring in, what I do want. Okay? So you can start in your chair. It's a little softer so that you can hear my voice. Close your eyes if you want to. Come to the front of your chair. You can turn your video off if you feel like you don't want to be seen by others. That's fine. And then just bring your hands down to your pelvis today. Maybe where you can feel your hands on your pelvis bones. And start to move and sway. So you're moving from one sitting bone to the other sitting bone. Allow the breath to come in. Feel that energy in your belly. That's what we really want to have, as if your belly was like a bowl with water in it. And that water could splash around and swish around a little bit. Water is a beautiful metaphor for abundance. It's the flow of your life. It's the flow of your energy. It's allowing for everything to just be present. Not to know and to be in the unknown. Not to know what's going to happen, but to trust yourself. Let your breath come in fully. Let your head start to be a little bit of a tassel on the top of the spine. You know, like the tassel on a cap and gown from a graduation cap, where it's just kind of moving around. And this is your dance. I always love to say dance as if no one was watching. And then if they're watching, all the better. So we're bringing our light, our life, our force, our life force, our energy into all of this. Keep breathing. And remember, this movement process is about what I love, what I want to bring in. We've already tossed away our do not tolerate list. We don't care about that. We don't want our don't want list. We just want what we want. And we're seeing it pretty fully as an image of possibility and abundance. So now I'm going to invite you to come to standing. And if you have to move the space a little bit so you have more room. And just let yourself see into the space. See into the room. But keep allowing for a little internal movement to take place. And then give yourself some time to really mold into the room, into the space, with your curiosity and openness. So what does it feel like when we shut down and pull in, as opposed to open up and out? Let that come fully, deeply into your body. Start to feel and hear the rhythm within and the rhythm without, through the music. Remember to keep energy in the belly. And creativity takes place behind the mind clutter. We're trying to open to the creativity itself. And notice how much your arms, your upper arms and your chest can express. And the reason for that is they're so free. They're the part of you that gathers in, that holds the child, that picks the fruit from the tree. See that all just being part of your experience. We're moving stuck energy when we dance. We're freeing our bodies and we're freeing our minds together. And then let that come to a quiet place, bringing it back into more of an internal state. As you're here, feeling the feet grounded. And then just start to explore your space. Like you're, a feline creature moving into the woods. Let yourself really feel into a much more natural part of your body, of yourself. And notice what happens when you slow down your energy. It allows you to really meld or bring your outer into your inner into your outer. See that you're moving in your environment. Be curious. Let your legs really be connected to the earth, feeling Mother Earth connection. Make sure you're giving yourself some real time for self-care into yourself, into the and then let the energy start to shift a little bit. Let the music really take over. And really feel that bubbly energy, that joy coming up. Let's dance together. Really make it your own. And just a little bit longer. Keep finding that rhythm within. And then gently bringing it back down to a quiet place, to a still place. And bringing your energy back. Bringing yourself back into the chair, if you will. So fun to dance together. And just noticing what happens in your system, in your body, in your mind body, after you've let a little of the energy move. It's a reminder that we can dance our prayers. We can bring movement back into our lives if it's been gone. I know for me during COVID, I got very quiet and very still for a long time, maybe even a little bit depressed because we didn't have contact with anyone. Just if you're lucky enough to have a partner, you know, at least you had a companion in the in the pandemic, but a lot of people didn't even have that much. So it's a big challenge. Okay, so I wanted to share with you, I'm going to go back and share my screen again. And okay, so the point is what we really want in life, in our vision of manifestation, is to bring in more ease and more joy. And there's a way that you can systematically work on this. And I call it the 7 qualities of a life of spiritual wealth. And again, the wealth is financial, it is health, it is joyfulness, it is ease in relationships. It could be anything that you want to draw in for yourself. We're going to work with the chakra system. Surprise, surprise. So the chakra system actually has 12 main chakras that work through the body. We're going to go from the spirit, or the top chakra, the crown chakra, into boots on the ground, as I like to say, into action in the world, which is considered first chakra. So the higher self, we're speaking of the highest chakra, the 7th chakra. In our spiritual reality, your higher self is speaking to you all the time. And it's very difficult sometimes to let that voice come in a strong way. And again, it has to do with the mental clutter that we have, the chatter, staying in the intellectual mind, in the past or the future. Thought is always connected with the past, and the past can't be real because it's not the present. It doesn't exist anymore. So we can redefine and refine. We talk a lot about that the first day, is how we have childhood experiences, often childhood wounds, that created a point of view of how we are in the world, how we see ourselves in the world, which is very connected to either a victim energy or lack and scarcity. And that over time, because the ego mind is so highly structured in keeping safe, it's very challenging. It gets codified. It gets hardened into our reality as our reality. So it becomes harder to move out of those stories and into a different state. So we're starting right at the highest place when we're talking about bringing in spiritual wealth, is the connection that you actually have to your higher self. And of course, we have to do all that inner processing work of grief and suffering. But like a true alchemist, we can release and transcend. And there is a process of doing that. And there's a real hidden golden nugget to this, which is, even though we push against our struggles, sometimes those are the doorways to our release, to our enlightenment. And so whatever life has presented to you, allow it the opportunity to be your teacher. Sometimes those are our greatest teachers. And as you connect with that energy of the crown chakra, of the higher self, then you can allow your intuition to be a guide for you as well. And intuition development is just another skill that you can develop in order to get even more clear. We talked about the 4 clairs yesterday: clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance, which is inner knowing. And that we can, some of those clairs will be with us our whole life. You know, you might have been a child who was very, very clairaudient or clairvoyant. And, you know, because of that, you were like different from the people around you, but you were seeing things that others weren't seeing. And you would be able, with all assurance, to share with somebody what exactly is going on in their lives without, you know, and then they'll look at you like, what, how did you know that? Right? So as we develop more of our natural intuition, we get really secure in knowing what we know as our truth, which means we're going to be able to then speak that. And that brings us into the fifth chakra. So the fifth chakra is that place of almost like a spaciousness that is the grounding for the universal voice to come through, for our higher wisdom to come through and be channeled through. This connection, when we make it really strong, is going to come through all 7 chakras, but definitely through the heart. But that channel, as it's open, we're opening that whole channel to be able to speak from that place. And as you do that, moving into then the heart energy. And there's a meditation that I learned long ago that brings the double helix vortex into your heart. I see it as it's like the infinity sign, the figure of 8 sign. And that vortex of energy, when you hold it with either a pink, a white, or a gold light, you can shift and work on the vibration of that helix, and it opens the inner heart energy so that you then become the bridge between the heaven realm and the earth realm. So Father Sky and Mother Earth, it's often called. If you want to bring the Mother Father energy, Mother Father God energy into this, then we get to be the conduits of that energy so that the divine love and grace and light and source energy and life force is coming into you as you. And so this bypasses the thinking mind, the spinning mind, that part of you that may be coming in with all those old stories again. No, hold this energy strong, and the spiritual abundance will live in you as you, more and more as you do. So you can work on this in your meditation practice. And the way that we do it is to bring our awareness into the spiritual heart, into the center of the chest, and allow yourself to open from within. You can make your connection to heaven and earth, but we open within and expand that energy through the heart energy, through compassion and wisdom, and allow all that manifestation to just be present in whatever form it's going to take that day. The form is always creative, and it's always changing, and it's always fluid. And then we come to the place where you need to really connect with your root chakras. And when I think of the root chakras, I think of the triangle of the first, second, and third chakra. The first chakra is your place in, like your secure place in the world, your connection to finances and money and security. It's very, very connected to security. In the body, it's connected to the legs and the feet. Second chakra is the place of your belonging. And you hold your emotional and psychical energy very strongly in the second chakra, in the belly. For women, of course, it's the womb, but it's that creative center that we all hold. And it's there, it can really hold the vibration of the psychical world too. So you have to be careful, because we get distracted by the psychical very easily. And we want to be able to remain within our channel as well. And then the third chakra is in the solar plexus, and that is really your power center. So it's very much connected to how you hold power in the world. So if you think of it like a triangle, it's the top of that power triangle between the first, second, and third chakra. So just to know there's practices and activations that we can do that bring that healing into it. And likewise, as a healer, we actually are working in a grid system of those bodies too, so that we're living inside the physical body, but that the energy body, the mental body, and the spiritual body open out and expand around and through us. So, for example, a healer that's working with crystals can actually work inside that grid to affect different aspects. When I do energy healing and craniosacral therapy, I'm actually doing hands-on work, but I'm working not just on the physical body. So we're finding balance in all those bodies. And that's just an example of how you can work with healing with that. Okay. So this just brings us to kind of a more of a mental picture of how to work within these 7 chakras, or these 7 levels really of alignment that we talked about the spirit and the psychical through the third eye, the mindset, our beliefs, and our truth that comes when we've cleared that. The criteria in a coaching model is really, what is the decision that you're wanting to make? What is the conviction that you're holding in your manifestation? So we're really looking at the whole picture of how we can manifest our desire. And how we can do that is to just work through all these different levels. So for spirit, you ask why. Why is this important to me? In the mindset level, you can say, are you thinking of yourself in mastery? Are you holding the energy of one who knows? And then when we come down to our beliefs, that's all the sabotaging beliefs as well. So you have to ask yourself, am I doubting that this can happen? Because that's the inner work that you most need to do. It's probably the biggest part of the manifesting process, is asking yourself, do I believe this is possible for me? And then from there, now we're moving into the manifest world, the clarity of outcome. What is it exactly that you want? Be really detailed and very specific. Do I want my new book to be published? Do I want to have a lot of clients? Right? That's the energy of the manifestation that's going to make it really real in the world for you. And then, and only then, because you've done all this processing and alignment work, can you come to the question of, what is it that I'm going to do first? And then second. And you know what? This is kind of a beautiful thing, because it might just be one tiny little action. It doesn't have to be a lot. And you don't have to know everything. You just need to intuit or align with the intuition of that next step. And then do it. And finally, the root chakra is the support systems that we have. So our environment needs to be supportive. And that could be your physical environment. For me, decluttering is really a great way for me to clear energy and start to manifest, because I get very pulled down, even by dust. you know? So your decluttering could be as simple as taking a vacuum and getting the energy out, or sweeping. There's a whole metaphysical aspect of sweeping your front porch every day, right? As a form of opening your energy and decluttering. But part of this support system is also what to ask for. Because you can never receive unless you ask for it. It's not just going to happen. The universe doesn't have a way to give it to you, right? So really making that container for your action. All right. And then I always like to remind us that there's a whole non-doing part of manifesting. In other words, you're already there. If you visualize and see what it is that you're wanting to bring in to your life, it's already happening on some level because you've consciously connected with it. And you don't have to worry about all the things that you think you aren't ready for, because you already are there. And back to our first mindset question and day, we're merely shifting our perspective to allow it in. And I just want to say hallelujah. Because, manifesting with ease and flow is available to us. And sometimes we just have to get out of our own way to let it in. All right, my beauties, I'm going to stop my share. We just have a few minutes left, but if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question or...
Thank you, Diane. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So great to have you here. Yeah. And I wish you the highest and best in all of your manifestations. And do you have anything you want to bring up from what we did? How about the dance today? Did that help you move energy? Yeah.
Actually, that was really good for me because I know I have to move in the morning, but exercise is vigorous, and this was gentle. And it was a transition from not moving more vigorously.
Yeah. It's especially when we really slowed down, and I felt myself almost moving in slow motion, and then I could feel like the physical and the mind, the intention, everything was just sort of like dancing in a spiral, like it was just like, whoa, where's my back? Ooh, where's my front? And also the grounding. That's another thing that we forget, that when we move into any kind of movement, and it could be formal like exercise or yoga practice, but any kind of movement, even the smallest, most internal space, starts to open our energy and give us clues about what's next. That's a big way for our intuition to guide us.
What is the big way for our intuition to guide us? The movement? Or
that place of really tuning in, even if it's a very small movement. Yeah. So, but it's a movement that starts as an internal movement, and then it can become an external movement, but it's the movement of energy that we're really looking to find that shift.
Is there a name for that? I love that. Thank you so much. That was just So it was beautiful, calming, peaceful.
I learned a lot through authentic movement, and I worked with Gabrielle Roth, who has the 5 rhythms. I worked with her back in the 90s, and she's the one that wrote the book, Sweat Your Prayers. So pretty fantastic. And, you know, it just goes from there, because we're in the dance when we're doing that. We're in the dance. Dance of life, dance of manifestation, dance of creativity, and love.
Have you heard of light language?
I have. I've heard some people do it.
Yeah, I mean, I was just told, that you can do that through dance. So I didn't know if that was what you were doing or something like that.
Light language is, it's actually verbal, and it comes from hearing, what seems like gibberish to other people, but it's like it's a channeled energy that, some people have just explored that. I was told by someone that I should explore that too. So maybe someday I'll explore light language.
Well, the light language therapist or light language person told me that light language can come out through dance, art. It wasn't just speaking, it was dance, art, and other things. So anyway.
Sometime when we have time, I'll talk to you about the Doorways to the Self, which is a class that I used to do, a 4-hour class that worked through all these things: movement and guided imagery and sound and poetry. And so you just bring it all together into a beautiful big bouquet.
Love it.
Well, we're going to have to stop for today, and thank you so much for coming, and I wish you both well, and all the people on the replay. So give me feedback and let me know how this is for you, and sending lots and lots of love. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you so
Bye.
much,
So good to
Diane.
see you.